NALSAR University స్నాతకోత్సవంలో రాష్ట్రపతి ప్రణబ్ మాట్లాడుతున్నారు. ఇప్పుడు లైవ్ చూద్దాం.
And so forth. All of them were legal luminaries in their career, and from there they joined the national movement for freedom of the country. It's important to recognize that the training our leaders received as lawyers in both India and abroad played a major role in our unique national movement. Our independence struggle sought to wrest from the colonial power basic rights and democracy in a peaceful, non-violent manner, using reason, argument, and moral courage, all of which are important tools of a good lawyer. I am told, it is said, one eminent such a lawyer was P. Sattamurthy. In those days, with very limited power, in the National Assembly, Sattamurthy was such a brilliant parliamentarian, and with his power of arguments, logic, and command of our language, that when he rose, especially the treasury benches, everybody looked at each other's face and requested them silently, you please respond, I am not capable of facing him. He was described as terror to the treasury bench whenever he took the floor, such an eminent parliamentarian, and simply by his legal acumen, command of our language, knowledge of law, rules and procedures, created a history in the legislative annals of our country. Distinguished guests, participants, ladies and gentlemen, legal education has undergone a paradigm shift in the last 2 decades. Yet, there are many areas that require further strengthening. Our educational institutions imparting law education have to bridge the gap between theoretical concepts and practical application. They have to ignite inquiry and encourage curiosity. The study of legal system cannot be pursued in isolation from the wider socio-economic realities. Even as law students become more adept in interpreting legislative enactments and reading judicial opinions, they must do so within this liberal framework. The shadows of our colonial past continue to play a predominant role in the thinking in relation to the enforcement of rules as well as adjudication of disputes. It is important to gradually rework the underlying principles to make administration of justice more representative and responsive to the citizens. Lawyers are in a unique position to play this transformative role, be it through offering inputs in the framing of legislations, leading cause-oriented litigations, and engaging in social advocacy or research. Legal education should therefore be seen by students and practitioners much beyond than a means of livelihood. It must encourage them to constantly think about how their actions will affect the common man. Along with proficiency in the traditionally identified skills of legal reasoning, research and writing, students must be encouraged to attach utmost importance to the enduring principles of equality, liberty, fraternity, with unflinching support for social justice. Friends, the framers of our Constitution gave us a rich and varied text which speaks about these ideals. They incorporated several provisions in the Constitution to address the social, economic, and political problems of the nation: abolition of untouchability, prohibition of hereditary titles, and the guarantee of fundamental rights, and a few notable examples. Despite our best efforts, some of the social evil still continue to survive. It calls for urgent attention of the policymakers as well as those in the legal profession. The framers also left us with some enduring principles which continue to shape our thinking. Let Granville Austin, the noted historian of the Indian Constitution, described the Constitution as a seamless web which weaved together into three distinctive strands of the national integration, building democracy and ushering in a social revolution. As keen students of constitutional law, I need to hardly emphasize to you that a meaningful study of this subject is possible only if one engages in moral reasoning and debates about the true meaning of these standards. Distinguished guests, participants, ladies and gentlemen, it is my hope that our leading law schools are encouraging their students to not merely learn the content of laws, but to also assess their rationale, the consequences of their implementation, and the constructive suggestion for their reform, if any. In the interest of entering quality education, there is usually a push towards standardization, yet there is a need for experiments in higher education. Very often it is the willingness on the part of a few to take a leap of faith to introduce changes. I am happy to learn that NALSAR in the last 2 years have made conscious efforts to diversify the curriculum by offering more elective courses, giving students greater academic flexibility. NALSAR is one of its kind of law university in the country which has choice-based credit policy in its true sense. I congratulate them. The university is also focusing on postgraduate programs to attract the students with training in different disciplines. NALSAR has introduced unique MBA program in court management, innovation and sustainability management, besides offering postgraduate degrees in aviation and telecommunication laws. I have also been given to understand that NALSAR is planning to launch a new 3-year LLB course. Going forward, the challenge for this institution will be to produce high-quality research papers that are accepted by internationally recognized peer-reviewed journals. The objective of research should be the creation and preservation of knowledge and the evolution of new ideas. Such efforts require the determined effort of the researchers and the sustained support of administrators and governing bodies. Dear graduating students, I congratulate you on your remarkable success. No doubt, this is a landmark day for you. You have received your recognition of your hard work, patience and diligence over the years under the guidance of your exceptionally brilliant academies. You would soon join different branches of the legal profession. Each of them would be rewarding in their own ways. But remember, whatever the branch of law you may choose, the bedrock of your success should be erected on your unflinching defense of fundamental rights of all, civil liberties, and the realization of the rights of the marginalized communities. Dedicate yourself to the lofty ideals of selfless public service. Attain the highest standards in terms of professional skills and be daring in your fight against injustice, irrespective of the financial reward that you may receive. NALSAR thrives to produce socially relevant lawyers. You have to live up to the ideals and goals that your university stands for. I recall one of the a group of very distinguished judges of the Supreme Court of United States. 3 judges, Justice O'Connor, Justice Sellier, Chief Justice Rehnquist, and I quote their observations. One distinguishing feature of any profession, unlike other occupation that may be equally respectable, is that membership entails an ethical obligation to temper one's selfish perusal of economic success by adhering to standards of conduct that could not be enforced either through legal fear or through discipline in the market. There are sound reasons to continue pursuing goal that is implicit in the traditional view of professional life, both the special privileges incident to membership in the profession and the advantages those privileges give in the necessary task of earning a living is means for a goal that transcends in accumulation of wealth, unquote. Gaining financial security and meeting other obligations are no doubt necessary. Yet, while pursuing your professional goals, always keep in mind the values that you have imbibed during the course of your education, instructions, and your stay here. Irrespective of your chosen branch of law, apply these values to them. Your actions will shape the lives and prospects of those who rely on your professional expertise. Study the Constitution well. Understand our political system, its institutions, its process. Analyze the choice that were made to build the country into what it is today. Recognize the intelligent choices will need to be made for enabling this country reach the maximum potential and participate and contribute in making these choices. Don't be a bystander. Make yourself an active engager in these issues. Engage yourself with the living issues of day-to-day life and try with your expert knowledge, wisdom, and insight to find the solution to the problems you face. At the conclusion of your formal education today, you step into the world where you would need to learn more. Continue learning throughout your professional life and accept new ideas. Justice Olive Wendell Holmes once observed, and I quote, the best part of our knowledge is that which teaches us where knowledge lives off and ignorance begins. Unquote. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Jai Hind.